Hi guys, and welcome to Travel and Tourism. This video is for the coming academic year, so 2020 to 2021, and it's for Miss Day's class. In this video, we are going to do a quick introduction to travel and tourism and the course. So the aim is to firstly learn about the travel and tourism course, so what kind of things we will be studying and what levels you might be doing. Secondly, we're going to learn about how work will be set using Teams. And lastly, we're going to do a little check activity and see whether you can use Teams to complete a piece of work. So, what is Travel and Tourism? Travel and Tourism is a year-long course which will give you either a National 4 qualification or a National 5 qualification. Now, the really good news about Travel and Tourism is there is no exam at the end of the year, which is brilliant. And there's also no coursework like an added value unit or an assignment. And that's because in National 4 and National 5 Travel and Tourism, we will study 4 units and all of the assessments are completed internally. That means that you complete them in school, not under timed conditions, and it means that I will then mark them. But that also means that to pass Travel and Tourism, you must complete every single assessment task that you are asked to do. There's no forgetting to do a task or half doing one. Each one must be completed fully and passed for you to be able to gain either your National 4 qualification or your National 5 qualification. Now, the 4 units that we do in Travel and Tourism help us look at what tourism is and what tourism is like in different parts of the world. So to do that, we will look at Scotland and we will look at then the UK and worldwide. So we look at things like tourism on the Scottish Islands, tourism in Scottish cities. We look at the impact of clubbing tourism in Ibiza. We look at cruises and we look at things like adventure tourism. So the next 2 units are employability and customer service. And these units focus on the actual tourism industry. So what jobs are available to you if you would like to work in the tourism industry? What skills and qualifications do you need to have? And more importantly, how do you talk to people if you are working in the travel and tourism industry? So how do you demonstrate excellent customer service? The assessments that we will complete will be a range of different assessments. So for some of the assessment tasks, you will create a PowerPoint. For some of them, you will create a magazine article. For some of them, you will do a role play activity. For example, you will come up with a demonstration for a cabin crew safety announcement on a plane. And you will do things like deal with customer complaints. So there's a range of different assessment tasks that we will do throughout the year, hopefully to keep you quite interested. So at the moment, we're obviously in some tricky times and we're trying to do learning from home. And I have set up a Teams page for you to access our work and for you to get help. So all of the work that I set will be set as an assignment. I'm going to talk about how you can find an assignment in a second. There will be a PowerPoint that I've made to take you through the learning points, and I will produce a video like this one for each of those activities or lessons that gives you a bit more information, and that'll be on the YouTube channel Miss Day Geography, so you can find it there, and I'll put a link in the assignment when I make it. Once you've read through the PowerPoint or you've watched the video, there will then be an activity worksheet for you to complete. Now, there'll be 2 levels of worksheet for each activity. So there'll be an easier worksheet and there'll be a more challenging worksheet. And it's up to you to decide which one of those is going to be most appropriate for you. I would like most people to try the more challenging worksheet first, and then if they find that too hard once they've asked for some help, they might choose to do the easier one. So at the end of your activity worksheet, there'll be a task or an activity where I get sent some work. Now, I might set you a quiz on Teams where you just click the answers on the computer or on your phone and that's sent automatically to me. Or I might ask you to write an answer that you need to email me or send to me. All of the documents for each assignment that you get will also be saved in the Files sections of Teams, okay, so you can find them there. So I'm just going to take you through how we find assignments on Teams. So this slide here is showing us how we find them using a computer. Now when you're on Teams, at the top of our team page, there is a tab that says things like General, Posts, Files, and if you look along you will see one that says Assignments. I've circled it on this picture. And in Assignments, it will say something like number 1 and then the name of the assignment. And if you click on that assignment, you'll be able to view the instructions. Now with each assignment there will be what we call a Turn It In button, and you click that button when you've completed the work, and that means that I know that you've done it. So it's an easy way of you letting me know that you have finished the work. So if you're using a phone or tablet, assignments is really easy to find, but it's in a little bit of a different place. So if we look at the most left hand side of this picture that we've got, you'll find the assignments on our Teams page, but you have to go to the top right hand side and go to More first, and then you'll see assignments coming, and again you click on that and it will show you the instructions. And just like the slide before where I spoke about using a computer, you need to click the Turn It In button when you've finished the work. So how can you send me work to be marked? Now there are several ways that you can complete your work for geography. The best way to do it would be to use Class Notebook. You might have used this in some other subjects, for example science, and I'm going to encourage you to use this for geography because it's a way that you can see all of the work that you have completed really easily. It's basically an online jotter, and I can see all of your work too. Nobody else can, so it means you don't have to email me every time you do some work because it automatically uploads to a place where we can both see it. So with this online jotter, with your Class Notebook, you can either type work directly into this jotter, and you can do that on your phone as well really easily, or you can do work on a computer or on paper and upload a document or a picture into your notebook. That's really easy to do with a phone, so if you prefer to handwrite things, you can write out all of your work on some piece of paper, and then if you go to Class Notebook you just press a little button, it says take a picture, you take a picture of your jotter and it uploads directly. In Class Notebook there's also a section where I can upload resources to help you, so worksheets and things. If you can't use Class Notebook, you can email me your work, okay, and you'll find my email address on Teams. I'm not going to put it up here because I don't really want it on YouTube. So how do we find Class Notebook on Teams? We're going to start off again with using a computer. So if you are on a computer, if you go on our Teams page to that top bar again where assignments was, you'll see the one to the left of that is Class Notebook. Now you need to click on that, and then you will see there's a bar on the left hand side of your page. You might have to click a wee arrow at the top left bit for that bar to come up, and there will be your name. So this is a folder that only you and I can see. And if you open up that folder, there's another little subfolder that says Class Notes, and you need to complete your work in there. Also in your folder is a folder called Help and Hints. Now this has step-by-step guides on how to use Class Notes, so how to make a page, how to write in it, how to add a picture. So that's quite helpful for you. Okay, so if you're using a phone or tablet to do your work, you will need to download the OneNote app to help you use Class Notebook. And I've given you a little picture of the icon there that you need to look for in the App Store. So just like with assignments, Class Notebook is in the More section of our Teams page. And you'll see I've given you a little picture, it's in the top right hand corner. And then on the left hand side you will see it says Class Notebook. Here you want to click on that and there will be a folder with your name. Okay, and you're going to complete all of your work in the Class Notes folder. Just like before for the computers, there is a Help and Hints folder that gives you a step-by-step guide on how to write work in your Class Notes folder. Okay, so let's say you have logged into Teams, you've seen that there's an assignment, you want to get started with the work, but you're a little bit stuck. How do you get help? Well, there are several ways that you can ask for help. The first thing you could do is, if you are friends with somebody in the class, you might want to ask them for help first. You could do that via text or Snapchat or however you guys communicate, but that might be a lot faster than having to wait for me to reply to an email. If you don't really know anyone in the class, or you've asked a friend and they don't know what to do, the next thing you can do is ask for help via Teams. So you can post a little message saying, Miss Day, I'm a wee bit stuck with this bit of the work, and you need to make sure that you tag me with @MissDay so that I see that you have written me a message. Now that's quite helpful sometimes because there might be somebody else who is stuck on that bit of work as well, so they would also then see my reply on what you need to do. The last thing you can do is you can email me, and like I've said before, my email address will be on Teams. Okay, so we have in this PowerPoint chatted about what the Travel and Tourism course is like, and we have then spoken about how we can access our work using Teams and Class Notebook. And so this activity is going to, number one, check that you can access Teams and Notebook, but it's also going to help me to get to know you a little bit, because usually at the start of every new year, our new classes walk into our doors, and as teachers we get to chat to you and say, hi, how are you, or what are you interested in? But we're not going to get to do that this year, right now. And there are some people in the class that I know quite well and some people who I've never taught before. So this activity is going to help you to introduce yourself to me. So the steps for this activity are on this slide and we're quickly going to chat through them. The first thing you need to do is you need to go to our Travel and Tourism Teams page and you need to find your class notebook. You then need to go to a blank page and you need to put the title number 1, Introduction to, and then your name. So if I was doing it, it would be number 1, Introduction to Miss Day. Now, I have put a link in the assignments that I've set for this activity to a page that will take you there. So if you can't be bothered to set that page up, you can click on the link in the assignments instructions and it will take you to a page that says Introduction to and the first activity. So once you've got a document, you need to write down the following things. You need to tell me the year group you are now in. Okay, now the timetable has changed. You need to tell me the other subjects that you're taking this year, and if you've already done some qualifications, if you could tell me those subjects that you did last year and what level you sat, that would be really helpful. I would like to know one thing that teachers can do that help you learn. I would then like to know one thing that you either find difficult to do when learning or something that teachers do that stops you from learning or makes it difficult for you to learn. I would like an interesting fact about yourself. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it just helps me get an image of you in my head. So it might be that you've got a pet, a sport that you play, your favourite food, mine's pizza. I would then like to know how easy you find it to use Teams. So you're going to give me a colour, either green, amber or red, and there are some descriptions on the board that show you what those colours mean. And the last thing I would like to know is whether you have any issues with accessing Teams or have any issues with your Wi-Fi or being able to complete work at home. That just means that I know whether I need to maybe email you the work instead of setting it on Teams or organise some paper copies for you. Okay, once you've done all of that, you need to go back to assignment 1, Introduction, on the Teams page, and you need to click the Turn It In button to let me know that you have done it. Now, if you can't access Teams at all, I would like you to complete this activity, so those bits of information on paper or in a Word document, and I would like you to email it to me. Remember, my email address is on our Teams page. Okay, good luck!